To the respective evaluators, to the speakers, to BCSP team, to my co-presenters, to the audience from Facebook to YouTube, maayong hapon and good afternoon. At this moment, I will be presenting to you in behalf of my co-researchers, Mr. Janelle Villegas and Dr. Jason C. Ibanez, our research output entitled Conservation and Population Status of the Philippine Warty Pig, Sus philippensis within the Obu Manuvu Ancestral Domain in Davao City, Mindanao Island, Philippines. The Philippines is actually a home to several species of wild pigs, one of which is the Sus barbatus ahuenobarbus, which is a subspecies of the Bornean bearded pig. Here in our country, it is well known as Palawan bearded pig, since this subspecies can only be found in Palawan faunal region. Next one is Sus sebifrons, or the Visayan warty pig, which can only be found in Negros to Panay faunal region. The next one is the Sus oliveri, or the Mindoro warty pig, which can only be found in Mindoro. This species was formerly a subspecies of Sus philippensis. The last but not the least is the Sus philippensis, which is the Philippine warty pig because it is widely distributed in the country, such as in Luzon, in Mindanao, in Basilan, in Leyte, in Samar, and Catanduanes. And it has two subspecies, the Sus philippensis in Luzon faunal region and Sus philippensis mindanensis in Mindanao as well as in Samar and Leyte faunal region. Some facts about the Philippine warty pig. It was formerly a subspecies of Sus barbatus, but it was recognized as a distinct species after studying its genetics and its morphology. So it is different from other wild pigs in the country, having a sparse, bristly, and black or dark long brown hair at the back, and the adult male have white hair on the side of the jaw, as you can see in the picture. This species can be found at sea level up to 2,800 in all habitat types, and its status, it is already vulnerable according to the Philippine Red List of Threatened Fauna, meaning they are under threat from adverse factors such as hunting, hybridization with domestic pigs, and habitat loss. In Mindanao Island, this species is predicted to also widely distributed in the island. However, scientific assessments on the status of its population is still lacking. Actually, we did not find any recent literature on its population or its abundance in the forests in the island of Mindanao. So we really pursue this study in order to provide the first scientific assessment of the relative abundance and conservation status of the Sus philippensis inside the Obu Manuvu Ancestral Domain in Davao City, Mindanao. As for the location of the study, we conducted the study in the 4 barangays of the Obu Manuvu Ancestral Domain in Davao City, namely Barangay Salaysay, Barangay Tambubong, Barangay Tawan-Tawan, and Barangay Carmen. So this forest in these 4 barangay is actually located at the foot of Mount Apo. And before we conducted the field sampling, of course, we presented the research proposal before the tribe, and then we performed the ritual as a condition before entering the forest. And during our sampling, we established a 2.5 kilometer transect line, and then we installed 10 camera traps each barangay with 250 meters interval. So for 13 days, the camera traps were installed in the forest, and then after 13 days, we retrieve the camera and we transfer it to other barangay. So a total of 500 camera trap days were conducted. We also use GPS in order to locate the traps or the camera traps, the 10 camera traps in the forest. To get the relative abundance index, we use this formula: total number of detection divided by total number of traps. Results: a total of 18 individual of Sus philippensis were documented in the area. It was observed in Barangay Tambubong and Barangay Salaysay only. So these are the footages as you can see in the screen. Unfortunately, no individual were observed in Barangay Carmen and Barangay Tawan-Tawan. So here in Barangay Tambubong, only 2 stations were able to capture videos of the species. In Station 10, located at 1,367 meters above sea level, and in Station 4, located at 1,048 meters above sea level. So ang Station 10 is located at in the secondary dipterocarp forest, while the Station 4 is in the primary dipterocarp forest. For Barangay Salaysay, Stations 3 at 1,550 meters above sea level, Station 4 at 1,540 meters above sea level, Station 5 with 1,533 meters above sea level, and Station 10 at 1,516 meters above sea level were able to capture footages of the species as you can see in the screen. So hindi klaro yung sa Station 5 kasi madami sila and they are moving actually. Again, no individuals were observed in Barangay Tawan-Tawan and Barangay. So these are the summary of the result. For the relative abundance index, it is very low, especially in Tawan-Tawan and Carmen, which resulted to 0 kasi walang nakuha. In Tambubong and Salaysay, though meron, but still very low yung relative abundance. In totality, 18 individuals were observed over the 500 camera trap days. So the relative abundance index is 0.036, which is still. These are the threats that were observed in the area. Illegal cutting of trees, there were illegal hunting, and expansion of agricultural lands. For the conservation efforts of the tribe in their forest, the Obu Manuvu tribe consider wildlife in their forest such as deer and warty pig as a pusaka, a practice of sanctifying objects that are valuable to their life, culture, and history. So they really protect these species because this is valuable to their life and their culture as well as their history. So when it comes to hunting, hunting is strictly prohibited unless it is hunting season. So once a year they have hunting season at a certain place. However, outsiders who were unaware of this policy continue to hunt illegally. For agriculture, they use proper land use plans and boundary markings. So may mga area na dito lang talaga yung agriculture activity and beyond that, hindi na pwede magtanim. They also organize their own bantay bukid to monitor and patrol the wildlife in their forest monthly. And fortunately, they gain support from the non-government organization and from the city government of Davao. For their policies, if you wish to get trees in the forest, you should have permission from the tribe and must be supervised by the forest guards. And you should also plant every cut trees. Timber and rattan harvest at allowable zone on a limited scale must also be done. So there are actually punishments through traditional laws such as pumas, you will be fined with 50 kilos of meat, rice, and 1,500 amount of money if you will violate their policies. And those who cut trees must plant 100 trees in suitable areas, but of course with permission from their tribe. So in conclusion, it was found out to have low relative abundance. Threats such as hunting and deforestation were also noted. The zero result in Barangay Carmen and Taon-Tawan also denote that the population of the wild pigs in the areas might be declining. Thus, the current strategies and policies for the forest management must be strictly enforced and also, if possible, be amended. For recommendation, it is recommended to conduct more assessment in other areas not covered by this study, and longer sampling periods and more camera traps. And the species behavior and habitat location must also be included for reference on conservation strategies. So that's it for our study. Thank you and God bless.